Hello tubes and grooves, and welcome to our humble show that is Take the Fear Out the Gear with me, Jason Bangers.
And me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
Today we're going to show you how to sync up the RD6 and the TD3. What more could you want? It's a commonly asked question, tubes, a commonly asked question, and it isn't easy. Let me tell you that Simon and I filmed a video last week that we was going to deliver last week. It worked once, then we couldn't get it to work again. What was the problem, Si? Why couldn't we get it working?
Well, the main thing is try using a MIDI lead that works.
Yeah, it was a MIDI lead. It was purely and simply the MIDI lead was knackered. And there's really no way of testing them unless you've got a MIDI lead tester, and we haven't got one. Didn't want to go continuity checking every pin, did we?
No, but at least that's an easy fix.
Right, so just in case you're struggling and you're trying after watching this show here, and it don't work, it could be your MIDI lead, all right? So I'll hand you over to Simon. He's going to talk you through it now. Right,
these two machines are both on internal sync, so I'll just show you. And then there's... So they're both running their own clocks at the moment. So what we've done, we've got a MIDI lead at the back here, and we'll show you both ways. But at the moment, the MIDI's coming out of the TD3 and going into the RD6. So if you want to do it that way round, what you want to do is press the pattern group button and the tap reset button on the RD6, press them together, and then you'll see these ones flash over here, and you just want to press the one that says MIDI, so it puts it into MIDI sync. So I'll do that again. So you've got to press those, press that one that says MIDI, that will flash, then it will go off, and then hopefully if I press start on here so the RD6 is ready, and then we press start on here, it should sync up.
At last. Joy, 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 deep joy.
It is joy. So what we'll do now...
So it's quite simple. So that then is the slave.
Yeah.
And that is the master.
And then what we're going to do very quickly, because as we're here, I'm going to swap the MIDI lead in this one, in the TD3, so it's in. And I'm going to swap the MIDI lead on the RD6. Ooh. So that is going to out.
So you're now making the RD6 the master.
That's the one.
The TD3 the slave. So you've swapped them around now, so that's now the master and that's now the slave, yeah?
Yeah, so what I've got to do, I've got to put the TD6 back into master mode, because if I press it at the moment, it's still in slave mode, because we had the TD3 running it. So if I do that, and then go over to here, and you'll see INT, which is internal. That'll just do that, and you can see I can start it now.
Back to individual.
And then on this one, you press the right next button and the back button on the far right here.
I think I know exactly what you're going to do. The same thing.
Yep, press that and then highlight where it says MIDI.
God, that's easy.
And that will flash, then it will stop. So we get opposite this time.
Put that one in ready.
This one in ready mode, pressing the start stop, and then hit it the RD6.
That is really simple to do, isn't it?
And the last thing, because there's always one more thing.
There's always one more thing, man.
If you don't want to use MIDI, you can use the sync capabilities. But with this option, you'll have to do it from the RD6 to the TD3. Because if you look on the top here, the RD6 has got a sync in and out, but the TD3 has only got a sync in.
Okay, so that's got to be the slave.
Yeah, so the TD3's got to be the slave. And in this case, obviously you want your RD6 in internal mode, which it is. I'll check that. If you press the two buttons on the far right, you'll see that the internal one flashes. So that's fine.
It's really simple. I even understand it.
And then this one, you press the buttons here again, the right next and back, and it actually says sync next to it. So press that together. And this time you press the one that says trigger.
And that's using these leads from the top, yeah?
Yeah. And I'll press it again because it'll be on trigger. But there's two options. There's 24 and there's 48. That's how many pulses per second. So you can have it on either of those. If you got it on, this one's on 24. If I just press that, it's on 24. And if you check on your RD6, that one's flashing on 24.
Best to have them at the same, yeah?
Yeah, otherwise it will run at half speed or double speed.
Yeah, marry them up. Whichever one is on, make sure the other's on. Simple, really.
So now we're in trigger mode. I'll tell you what, I'll take these MIDI leads out.
Just to prove a point.
Yeah, take the MIDI leads out. That's it, they're on the floor. So TD3 is your slave. So we'll put that in. And Jay, press the button here.
Brilliant. Well explained, old boy. Put it there. You explained it well enough that I understood it.
There is one thing when you're in this like trigger sync mode, like with MIDI, it will start exactly in the right place. Where so if you press the button now, it won't start on the start of the bass sequence.
No, I noticed that earlier on.
Yeah.
I missed out. I did actually hear that. I was going to say it ain't in sync, but when it come back round again, it was there.
So if you're using this way of syncing and you want it to go from the start of your sequence, on your TD3, turn the start stuff off, put it back on. If Joe presses the button, then it will be.
Yeah, comes straight on there, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's the only thing to bear in mind if you're using that form of sync.
Leaves a nice long hanging note, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about that? Quite easily explained, wonderfully explained by Miss Chumley Warner. I even understood it. We hope you enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it from this edition of Take the Fear Out of Gear from me, Jason Bangers.
And from me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
We'll see you soon. We hope you enjoyed this.